Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel Zuna Noir. My hair looks like shit, but I don't care. I'm just having a lazy day, okay? I ain't going out nowhere. I ain't trying to impress nobody. I'm having a lazy day, so it's a me day. So I'm walking around my house just being lazy. But yeah, you need to hear that. I'm just ranting because it's hot and I ran out of ices to eat to keep me cool. Damn it. But anyway, so I just saw episode, I believe, 21? Does that make sense? Um, if I'm wrong, of course, the right episode number will be in the title for this video. But yeah, so a lot happened. Just like well, picking up where the last episode ended off, Elizabeth is running the Boar Hat Tavern, which she's situated in the Forest of White Dreams. Now, from the brief recap we got at the beginning of the episode, of course, Meliodas is dead. The Holy Knights are doing what they can to fight back the commandments and their forces, but it's not really helping. And because the citizens fear for their lives, they're sacrificing holy knights to the commandments to save themselves. I didn't know what they would do with Meliodas' body, but Elizabeth has it situated in a room in the Boar Hat Tavern. So, okay, it's actually really sad, but his body does become useful, as we see a little later. So, there's a rumor going around as deja vu to like season 1. In season 1, when we first see the Boar Hat Tavern with Meliodas and Hawk, the citizens are talking about a rumor about like a knight, a ghostly knight walking around in armor. And that person in armor comes to the Boar Hat Tavern, who just so happens to be Elizabeth. But in her case, she was wearing black armor. Like I said, deja vu called back to season 1. It happens again, but this time it's a ghost clad in silver armor, basically. And it turns out that we've seen this person when they were in Visel, for that so-called fighting tournament. And it just so happens that we have Melascula to thank for this. When she released her magic, bringing back the souls of the dead who had regrets or rage or anger towards someone, yes, she bought back Elaine, and it's possible she could probably still be alive somewhere right about now. But she also brought back Zaratros, Gildan's father, who, as we saw in season 1, was killed by Hendrickson and Dreyfus. And it turns out he doesn't have a grudge against those two. He had a grudge against himself for being blind to the fact that those two were being controlled by demons. And he called himself pretty pathetic for not noticing. And, well, his accounts of what happened that day are quite comedic, actually. Apparently, Hendrickson had baked some kind of fish pie or whatever. I forget what kind of pie it is, but he did say it was a fish pie. And he liked that pie so much, he got out of bed for, a little midnight stroll in armor, just in case of an attack. And he got lured in by the scent. Though he didn't know that Hendrickson was being controlled by a demon and had poison set food. So I guess once the poison set in and he was immobilized, Hendrickson and Dreyfus went to work skewering him with any and every spear they could get their hands on. And yes, while he is dead, like I said, thanks to Melascula's magic, Zaratros was brought back to life. And he has not seen his son yet. According to him, he said, how would he look at his son? Aside from everything else he already has on his plate, seeing his dad's come back to life would be a total shock for him. Plus, he was more attached to Meliodas at that point in his life anyway, so he probably doesn't even recognize his father's face. Yeah, that's a bit below the belt. But he does have a point. He's been dead for like, what, a decade now? A little over a decade now? I mean, I doubt Guild Thunder has forgotten what his father's face looks like, but to see his father's come back after all this time, yeah, that would shock anyone, actually. But it is nice to see him. I mean, when I saw him, I was like, wait, didn't you die in the first season? How are you? I was like, how? Why? And then they mentioned that he was brought back to life, and then they mentioned Melascula. I was like, that explains everything right there. So now I kind of do hope within the next few episodes he does get to see Guild Thunder. Melascula is dead again thanks to Bond. So, who knows? Maybe Zaratros will stay alive this time. Though it might be hard keeping him alive if they kill off all the commandments. But who knows? Whatever happens down the line happens down the line. But anyway, Zaratros tells Elizabeth to bring him to Meliodas so that they can settle something between them. He doesn't have a grudge against Meliodas. He just is a little jealous that his son preferred Meliodas over his own father. So I guess he's gonna have a little fight with Meliodas to hash things out. But then he's given it. But then once he's brought to Meliodas' body, he is told that, of course, Meliodas is dead. But he does remark that Elizabeth did good treatment on Meliodas' wounds because they do look healed, but Elizabeth is still upset at the fact that no matter what she does, she can't get Meliodas' hearts to start again. I mean, all 7 of them were stabbed, so they are completely destroyed. So Zaratros comes with the idea of, well, I thought maybe Elizabeth talking to Meliodas, well, his spirit actually. But no, it wasn't that. As you can see in the thumbnail, we see Meliodas, but this is back in the past. This is like the time that Zaratros takes Elizabeth and Hawk back to is mere moments after Meliodas destroyed Danifer. Zaratros and the King of Leonis went to go see Danifer, and they just so happened to catch sight of Meliodas carrying a baby, which happened to be Elizabeth. And of course, he was quite protective of her. Now, when Zaratros went to take Elizabeth from Meliodas, Meliodas was quick to say, "Don't touch my woman." So I'm guessing, even though Liz had died before Meliodas went on a rampage, maybe the baby, of course, was just her reborn because Elizabeth does look like Liz. So of course, Elizabeth is definitely Liz reincarnated, just with different colored eyes and hair. And I don't think Liz was a druid either. So how Elizabeth became a druid, I don't know. But yeah. So flash forward a little bit. A little conversation between Meliodas and Zaratros. Zaratros told Meliodas that the king had a vision about Elizabeth becoming his 3rd daughter. In other words, he wanted to adopt Elizabeth. So Meliodas said, okay, but only under one condition. You take me in as well. But not as a babysitter, but as a holy knight. Zaratros was quick to dismiss him with that. And I'm guessing they had a little bit of a scuffle. But if not, Meliodas was quick to draw a sword. And, well, I can't say threaten Zaratros's life, but his demonic aura was quite high at this point. It was a very quick move, actually. But Zaratros did say that even though Meliodas' aura was quite demonic, he didn't sense any ill intention in his eyes. So, under his recommendation, Meliodas became a holy knight. and as such, he was a holy knight protecting Elizabeth. Now, Elizabeth, of course, was a child, so she doesn't remember any of this. So seeing these memories was quite a bit of a shock to her. But she was attached to Meliodas as a child, and that was actually really cute. It was like, well, of course, his love interest, he's watching his love interest go up for one thing, but it's almost like also like he's just meeting his long lost little sister in a way, and it's so adorable. After a while, the king had another premonition that 7 deadly sins would be the ones to defeat the not the holy knights, I'm sorry, would be the ones to defeat the 10 commandments. And that's when Merlin comes in. And she says that without the king's power of vision, finding the other 5 members of their group would have been hard. So it was prophesied that the 7 deadly sins would be the ones to defeat the 10 commandments. So that was wow. So of course we had our first 2 members, Meliodas and Merlin. And I guess sometime after that they met Escanor. Because in this season, that's when we saw Merlin and Meliodas together when they met Escanor. And in season 1, we saw Meliodas by himself meeting Deanne, and like Deanne and Meliodas were together when they met Bon. So now I kind of want to know, how did Meliodas meet King? And Gother for that matter, but I guess I'll never get that unless I read the manga. Oh well, that's so much reading to catch up on, I guess. If they come out with a season 3 eventually, maybe between the time this ends and a possible season 3 is probably gonna come out, which probably would happen either winter this year or maybe sometime next year. And that's if a 3rd season gets greenlit, which of course it might actually. Maybe I'll use that time to read at my leisure and just catch up as best as I can. I mean, I know there's a lot of details I'm missing in this. Stuff that's probably been cut out that I don't even know about because I'm anime only. But you know what? Who cares? I'm doing this on my own pace. But anyway, so now knowing all of this, the last memory that Elizabeth was shown was her as a child talking to Meliodas before he goes away. And he promised her that no matter what he goes through, he would always come back to her. So, Elizabeth is happy at that. She tells his body that she knows that he'll come back because that was their promise. The episode ends with, of course, battles still raging, but the battles come to Leonis now. The best holy knights that were situated to protect the castle can't use their powers against Estarosta because his commandment is love, and if you have any hatred, then you can't use your abilities when in his presence. But with the way it ended, it looks like it's gonna be a little bit of a death match. Well, not exactly a death match, but like a no-holds-barred match between Estarosta and Escanor. So I actually cannot wait to see that. Plus we get a scene of Meliodas in Purgatory talking to, well, I would probably guess his father maybe, I'm not sure, telling him that every time he's died and come to Purgatory, he's fed off of all of the emotions, all the negative emotions I guess that Meliodas has had. So so that I guess if Meliodas wants to, he'll get all his powers back and become the powerful demon he used to be. I'm guessing back when he was still the leader of the 10 Commandments. But also we were told that there were, oops, someone let go of some balloons. Look like someone's having a birthday party. Oh, never mind. Sorry. As you can hear, there's like a lot of noise outside, so it's a nice day. So of course, people are barbecuing, probably having birthday parties and blah 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 blah. That's also kind of why I don't want to go out. Also, they haven't opened the pool by me yet, so yeah, if that was open, yeah, I wouldn't be here till, I wouldn't be doing this till like much later. But anyway, We were told that there were only 2 ways to kill the 10 commandments. Now, I kind of forgot what they are, but Meliodas also mentioned something about waiting for 3,000 years for a curse over him to be broken. Now, it's not mentioned what the curse is, but he did say that if the curse over him was broken, then he could probably live indefinitely. Maybe we'll get some clues, but we have like a couple episodes left till this season ends, so please end it on a high note, not a cliffhanger. Well, if we get a cliffhanger, we can get a season 3, but either way, don't leave me drooling for more, and I'll just binge watch until season 3 potentially comes out. But enough of my ranting. I'm gonna end it here. Yeah, it's time for me to continue my lazy day, basically. So leave your comments down below, like, share, subscribe for more content, and well, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.